Alright, so we had a lot of inquiries during the boat build on a lot of different things that we did here. So I promised a lot of guys different videos, so I figured I'd just make one video on an overview of the boat. You'll have to bear with me here. I'm selfie sticking it. I don't have a sweet camera crew. So we're over the boat, try to hit everything, try to keep it a short video, and hopefully answer everybody's questions. This was a custom built Maruk boat there by Joe up there by Buffalo City, Cochran area in Wisconsin. He did an awesome job on the boat. It's about 21.5 feet by 72. It's a little bit longer with the pods, and he did build it to how we wanted it, and it turned out phenomenal. And then my friends and I built the rest of the items as far as the blind and everything else. And this boat would not be possible with the help of all the friends that came over and put in countless hours, and we crammed this sucker out. It's already duck season here, but we're hoping to get her on the water come Friday. We're going to be brushing it in later today, so I figured I'd do the video, kind of see a little bit of the ins and outs of it without the brush on, and then I'll post some pictures with the brush. So as we go through the boat, we'll show you from the outside, and then I'll also show you all the inside. So as we walk around, one of the first features here on the back is the dog ladder, and then also we did incorporate is the dog door on the back here that's operational with a rod from the inside, so it can be pushed open and pulled shut. So that'll obviously get brushed in both sides, but the dog can stay in, poke her head out, and then when she comes out, she's got the ladder to go down, and then the ladder does fold up for towing and for driving on the lake. This rig is powered by 150 horse Optimax, and then we've also got the jack plate on there. We've got the cover on now, and we're going to brush that in today as well. We typically in the past we've made hard motor covers just like the blind, but the tunnel hull on this boat and the jack plate is kind of new to us, so we're not sure where the boat's where the motor is going to need to range as far as trim and jack plate. So for this year we're just going to run a soft cover, and then probably by next year we'll have a hard cover encompassing the whole motor that'll be on a hinge and everything, so we can work on the motor. So as we walk around the back, like I said, we got dual pods, tunnel hull. It's going to help us get into those shallow areas. And then the back is elevated for when you'll see when we're inside, you can sit and get underneath, get out of the rain. It keeps you, comfortable on the crappy days. So as we come on this side, I'll try to pan out here. The frame is 1/2-inch electrical conduit that's all welded, and then it is skun with 030 aluminum that's riveted to it. We do put weather stripping in between to kind of prevent rattling as we rivet it, so bouncing down the road, it's not a big deal, but when you're out driving or hitting rough waves and stuff, kind of takes care of a lot of that rattling. And then there's spots where there'll be seams and stuff, and we silicone all those just to kind of, again, prevent rattling or any sharp edges here. So we get to the front here, we did have Joe put on some nice handles for us, nice big handles so you can get a couple hands in or one hand in. We've got the access ladder, so when we're driving, it's obviously not in the way of anything. It just comes undone with a bungee and then comes down. So it comes down pretty far in the water, so it's easy to get in and out of. We're not all very athletic and in shape when we hunt. We're wearing waders, so we don't want to be hoisting ourselves up on the deck there. Alright, so as we move inside here, I'm going to kind of show you else here. We got the drive light there. Another big handle there. The drive light's a little offset due to the ladder, but not a big deal. It lights up very well. And then when we go to set out, this whole front deck gets a cattail mat over the top and over the drive light for complete concealment. Spare tire there. The trailer was custom made by Joe there at Maruk Boats as well. He did an outstanding job. It's got surge brakes, swing away tongue. Really helps to fit in the garage. So this is the top view here. So when we have this brushed in, there is very good concealment. You can work birds right over the top of you, and then when it's time to shoot, you pop open the doors. But also when we're setting up, driving out, the doors are open. It gives you a lot of room to maneuver guys through and get decoys. We'll run about 100, 120 duck decoys and about 2 to 3 dozen goose decoys out of this boat right here with no problems. So as we go in here, front door opens, And then here is the driver door. So this is going to allow you to drive from the front, so you're not fooling around in the back. You can see what's going on. We'll open up all the doors here. Alright, so looking from the back to front here, and if there's the driver. So here we've got the driver cockpit. Like we said, we don't want to be messing around way in the back, so we've got all the controls up front here. You can see here we've got GPS. For this year, normally in the other boats we've had GPS. That's onboard GPS with the depth finder and everything. Just for this year, we're going to run the handheld GPS that'll stay in here. And we won't have a depth gauge, but that'll be something that'll be added probably for next year. We've got our whole switch panel here. We've got LED strip lights inside. We've got a drive light, and then we also run a spotlight, which we've got some mounts for here. So it can kind of be hands-free, but also allows you to turn it as you're driving. So, and then there's another mount right here for it, a little closer in case you need to get in and out of the door. But that allows us to have the spotlight as well, and it can be taken out of there, and that just plugs into a cigarette lighter. Here we've got a fuel gauge, and then we've also got the phone holder for the Mercury 150. We've got the Vessel View app, which shows all the controls, all the gauges on my phone. So temp, trim, RPM, speed, it's all on the phone, so we don't have any other gauge cluster here. The controls for the jack plate are here as well, and then obviously your tilt, trim, and everything else you'd need up here. So, as we sit in here now, this is our decoy storage. So, as we go out here, I just put a few decoys in so you can see. We run a Texas rig, about a 5-foot lead. We've got a bar that goes across the whole top of the back of the blind here that they clip into. So we'll do bundles of like 10 or 12 ducks, drop them in, and then we'll set the next one on, and they're all clipped here. And then when we set out, the seats, they'll be like that for decoys. And then they'll go down, and then that's our seat to sit. And then we've got shelf space. I'm sorry if there's a glare here, but there's the onboard fuel tank. It's up front. It doubles as a step. The filler is on the outside there of the blind. And the fuel lines, everything are concealed and run down. But we've got ample shelf space here. My friends like to bring like a duffel bag full of all their supplies and about 6 boxes of shells, because we can't hit much, but we do shoot a decent amount. So, like I said, ample seating here. Then when you're sitting down, the doors close, and then you look out, and then you just pop them open to stand up and shoot. And then the main part of the blind, the main reason why most of the people come hunting with us, is the 3-burner stove here. What we do have is we have dual propane tanks in the back that are hooked to a high pressure line, and it runs and it feeds the stove, but it also feeds 4 heaters that are not currently in here, but we have 5-foot hoses, pigtails, that go to the heaters so they can be placed throughout the blind. So it's all piped into the 2 propane tanks, so stay very warm and get a full stomach. Even if there's not ducks flying, usually have a pretty good time. And then I'll show you the dog door from the inside. So you just push out, opens up, close it back up, and it pulls closed. So we've got back here, we've got the batteries, fire extinguisher, dual bilge pumps, oil tank. We do have, there's foam back here in the corners that Joel put in here. We've got foam on board. And then the pods, and then also the walls are about 4 to 6 inches thick down the sides with foam. We did HydroTurf. It's kind of a knockoff brand of HydroTurf, the floor, the center aisle here. So we're back to the outside of the boat. I showed you the gas tank inside. The gas fill is right here. The way we attach our vegetation is we run a wire, like a chicken wire or cage wire here, and we secure it with little plastic holders that are screwed in. And this will get painted before we brush it, but this allows us, we'll zip tie synthetic cattail mats or raffia grass to this. But then we also can stuff natural vegetation in here, and it holds up real well. This thing will get towed behind the truck a couple 100 miles. We'll go up to Canada. We'll hunt around here a lot of miles, actually probably thousands of miles a season, and it'll hold up really well. The cattail mats will stay on there. we don't have to do anything as far as that. Once we get where we got to hunt, we put out decoys and we push in the cover and we're ready to go. The paint is a sand color. Ricky Torres hooked us up over at Camo Designs. Very helpful with any of the questions we had as far as getting the thing set up, ready to paint, prep work, and the paint turned out awesome. It's a one-stop paint shop there. He's got the paint that's got the self-etching primer right in it. So we were able to spray it in one. We had Jerry over from Fire and Steel. He sprayed it up for us, did a phenomenal job. Turned out awesome. On the bottom, we've got the Gator Glide there, David Ward. That actually Joe applied for us up there when he built the boat, but it's like glass. This is very smooth on the bottom. It slides off the trailer. Two guys can push this thing off completely, no problem. One guy can get it for the most part all the way off without a motor. So, and then lastly, the motor, we said we did a 150 Optimax. We had some prop issues, but Chad over at Oxbow hooked us up. Actually picked up my prop today, an Alpha 4 blade. So he was really helpful with that, kind of getting it dialed in there. They said we haven't run a jack plate or a tunnel haul before, but Chad got us dialed in with some props he had in-house, and then we ordered one to kind of fine-tune. So excited to get that on there. We're going to get out probably in 2 days to get her on her maiden hunt, and we will keep you posted. If you guys have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. A lot of these ideas we took from other people. Some of the stuff we came up on our own, but again, can't thank my friends enough for coming out and helping. Really crunch time, and we got this thing dialed in pretty well, so we'll let you know how it hunts. Thanks.